if I traded it all
these newbies here today. I have with me my next guests are Bob Mills and Sean Woods, and they're the owner of Angelini, Mills, Woods, and Ori Law. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and what you do.
Thanks, Carol. I'm Bob Mills, together with my partner Sean Woods. We're a law firm here in town. We've been together. Sean and I have been practicing together now for about 3 years. We, within the past couple years, have sort of partnered up with a Chicago law firm, Angelini and Ori. Now we're operating under the name Angelini, Mills, Woods, and Ori Law. Sean and I have both done all types of litigation in our careers in law. Recently, we've really begun to focus on commercial litigation,
Okay.
which is representing businesses in.
So what kind of businesses can be, in terms of that, what kind of, give them an idea of the kinds of things that you would help them with when they own a business. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carol. From top to bottom, I mean, it's from formation. If you're just thinking about it, you have an idea, come to us. We can help you protect that idea and put together the paperwork that you need to set up that business. From that point on, if you get sued, we're here for you.
Right.
We are the people you call and go to court on your behalf.
Okay, so you know what, before when you came on, I remember talking to you a little bit about when we first talked and originally, there's a lot of people out there that have formed businesses. Right now especially, there's a lot of people that have their businesses that are corporations and all of that, and of course we know, but there's also people that have started their own, just out of necessity, and can they use your service? Could they use your services as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we represent everyone in the business community. Like I say, all phases, all different types of people. I think a lot of people who go into business try and do it on their own, and they don't. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't understand, the importance of having a business entity like an LLC or an S corp or something like that.
There's a lot of people that don't have them, and that should.
Right. And, we stress, Sean and I both stress that it's important, if you're going to form a business, if you're going to go into business on your own, you should talk to a lawyer, before you do that, because there are enormous risks that you can be undertaking that you don't realize until it's too late.
Now, you can help anyone from anywhere, correct? You said statewide, as a matter of fact.
Right. Yes, that's true. We have clients all over the state. We have clients in Tucson, Prescott, all over the place.
Now, you're rated with the Better Business Bureau, but you're located here at 12th and Camelback.
That's correct.
But what we're going to do is give out some information about you. Here's the thing, too. It's the new year. It's coming up, right? And there's a lot of people that really need to start thinking about if you don't have an LLC, or there might be a situation that you should be in an S corporation and you're not, or things like that. These are people that you should talk to and get information. When you work with people, do you do what consultation with them? How does that work?
Yeah, we usually set up an initial consultation with them. We don't charge for initial consultation.
So it's a free consultation?
Right. Right. And we get to know them. We get to know them very well. That's one, I think, advantage that we have being a small shop like Sean and I's are. We get to know them very, very well, and we get to know their needs, their needs of their business, what they do, and we can try as best as we can to tailor our services toward that.
Now, okay, so when people are calling you, you do this free consultation. I want to get to understand that when they're working with you, they can't just do this on their own. They should not go online and try and get their own, do their own LLCs like a lot of people try and do, or with those big commercials that they have on television these days. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, they definitely should think it through before they just jump into it. There are a lot of kind of pitfalls that they can get into,
okay,
and that we can help them with. Especially when there are multiple people involved in the business. They don't go into it and they don't set up the right agreements up front, and that's where a lot of the litigation comes down later on.
Right.
But you can go online, Carol, and you can find all sorts of different types of agreements to set up an LLC or whatever. But a lot of it has to do with knowing what type of entity you really need. And when you sit down and talk to someone, I mean, it may be that what they really need is something very different from what they thought they needed when they went into this. And
Sure.
so that's part of the conversation, that's part of the consultation, is trying to help them with the best fit.
So they do free consultations. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. Their website is AMWO Law. law.com. Their phone number to call, it's 480-999-4556. And I strongly suggest anybody that's even been in business that doesn't have any of this, that they might consider talking to them. You might also want to tell us a little bit about your background so that we can hear a little bit about you, because we want to know about you a little bit too.
Well, I've been at this business. I've been practicing law since 1989. I was originally admitted in Illinois back then. I got admitted a year later in Missouri, and then approximately 20 years ago, moved to Arizona, and I've been practicing here ever since.
So quite some time for
Right.
you. And what about you?
So this is actually a second or third career for me. I've been practicing for about 6 years now. Prior to that, I was in the business world, ran a couple different businesses here locally, and got sued more than I wanted to, and said, you know what, I want to take matters into my own hands and learn how to do this myself.
Right.
And it became...
It's such a good idea to do and make sure that you have somebody that is in place just in case. And if you've got a business and you're not an LLC, there's so many good benefits by maybe even having it or changing it from, let's say, an LLC to an S corporation. Of course, people have they have people that do their taxes, and they'll say, "Oh, well, what's the difference?" I want to ask you what would be the difference if they say to do it, and they try and do it on their own. Let's go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well,
What would be the difference when they're using it? Just somebody that's what?
Well, if they're trying to do it on their own, I mean, it would be difficult without having any type of background in, the tax implications of what you're doing,
Right.
the
That's what I
potential
wanna know.
exposure to liability from what you're doing, the legal formalities of what you're required to do in an S corp versus an LLC versus some other, business setup are very different. And these are all things that someone needs to be familiar with, I think, when they're deciding what type of business entity they need to set up.
Right, and just from the very beginning, just to add to that, there are different ownership structures between an LLC and an S corp. So it all depends on the circumstances. And so when you come talk to us, we'll be able to say.
That's why they got to get to know you. That's
Right.
what they say. They got to get to know you. They do free consultations. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They're statewide, and their phone number is 480-999-4556, and the website is amwolaw.com. How can a small business owner manage risk?
Well, managing risk, Carol, is basically what we're all about. I mean, from the time you decide what type of business entity you want to form through, lawsuits, getting sued or suing someone, it's all about managing risk. And it really starts at the very beginning for deciding what type of entity is best for your business.
So we go back to
Right.
that.
Right.
Okay, what about litigation? How do they avoid it?
If you could tell me that's the $64,000 question, I think. You can't. You just can't avoid litigation. It's going to happen. If you're running a business, I think it's few and far between in a business owner's experience to not run into some sort of litigation. The idea, again, is managing the risk of that litigation. So when you're sued, let's assess what's happening there. Or if you need to sue somebody else, maybe a former employee ran off with some of your information, right? We help you through that
Happens all the
process.
time.
It does.
Yeah.
But there are things we can also help you with from the very formation stage. For example, if you set up an LLC, a good operating agreement, can go a long ways toward avoiding a lot of the risk of litigation down
Right.
the line.
When people listen to people like you, they say, oh, it's got to be for a big corporation or a bigger business. Does it matter what size company that they are?
Not at all. Not at all. Matter of fact, most of our clients are small businesses. And we've learned a lot lately because, Sean and I's business right now is a small business. So we've learned a lot about being small business owners and can empathize with a lot of what
Could
our
it be
clients are
somebody
going
that
through.
has an in-home based business? And I'm not talking necessarily an MLM or anything like that, but some people have now started their own. We said that earlier, and they're working out. They're sole proprietors, and they're working out of their homes. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. In fact, those are some of the perfect people to call us. Just if for anything, to do a checkup and see if they're doing the right thing.
Right. So that's why they want to get to know you, and they do free consultations. If you're listening to this is a perfect time to get these kinds of things done. What would be your final words for today?
Angelini Mills Woods and Ori is a firm that gets to know our clients very well. We're small enough that we can meet and get to know you very well. Sean and I, just so as you know, we give out our cell phone numbers to our to our clients because a lot of what we do in terms of litigation, it can be very stressful. People, when they get involved in a lawsuit, it's very stressful for them, and I, encourage them. If you're stressing out, you can give me a call. Don't hesitate to do that.
And they definitely get used. I can tell you that right now.
Yes, they do.
Here's the thing, too, especially when you're in a business. I mean, you're in business with someone. It could be your ex-wife, your wife, or somebody in the family, and a lot of those end up in disputes, too, don't they?
They do. Right.
So, there's really good reasons to make this happen. Of course, we're talking about it being this is a great time of the year to do it. Again, some of the last things you want to say?
Feel free to call us with your business needs.
So
business problems or business formation, give us a call.
Their number is 480-999-4556. That website is amwolaw.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they do free consultations. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.